CBS 46 News presents Public Affairs on Peach.
And good morning, everybody, and welcome to Public Affairs on Peach. I'm Giovanna Dierpick. For the next half hour, we're going to talk about President Trump's proposal to end Daca. The program has protected as many as 800,000 people from deportation. Now, those people are often referred to as dreamers. They were brought to America illegally as children. President Trump has given Congress 6 months to come up with a legislative solution. The recommendation to end Daca brought emotional reactions from coast to coast, with some applauding President Trump's decision, and then, of course, on the flip side, Democrats and some Republicans vowing to come together to pass legislation. We're going to get to all of that for you, but we want to begin by talking to a couple of dreamers. And of course, we want to thank our partners at Univision for helping us with today's program. The two dreamers that we have today, Diana Vela and Raymond Partolin. They're joining me now. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
All right, so if you could very briefly tell us at what age you came to this country.
Yes, I came to the United States at the age of 4.
From?
From Chiapas, Mexico.
Okay. Raymond?
I came here when I was 1 from the Philippines.
Okay. What does it mean to you to be a so-called dreamer?
To be a dreamer just for me means being able to carry on my mother's sacrifices and to be someone with resilience, to be able to show what the American dream is all about.
Raymond?
For me, being a dreamer is about that American dream that America promises all immigrants when they come here to the United States, to be able to work hard, to be as dedicated as you can, to be able to fulfill your greatest potential as a human being in this country.
Now, what is it like for you now that President Trump made his decision?
Well, now there's just so much anxiety. You know, when Trump made this decision on September 5th, he pretty much swept this program from underneath around 800,000 dreamers across the country who have trusted the federal government with their sensitive information to provide them with safety and security to be able to work and drive legally here in this country, something that they had no access to before.
Deanna?
It's just like Raymond said, there's a lot of fear, especially with, like he said, there's so many sensitive information that has been given out, and most importantly, we know the sacrifices our parents have made. We've seen their tears, their sweat, and just to see that this could possibly be taken all away by a simple decision is very disheartening.
Now, this is a very divisive issue. What do you tell people who ask, why should you get to stay in this country, whereas other people went the legal route and they were not allowed to?
I say, this is home for me. This is all I know. If I were to go back home, it would be very difficult for me to get adjusted. And like I've said, I saw the sacrifices my mother made. And to know that where I am now is because of her, it's scary to know it could be taken away.
Now, Raymond, your parents, when they decided to bring you here to this country, some people may argue they knew that they were taking a chance.
Yes.
People know the consequences, and even though, a lot of people didn't think it was going to happen, he came down with this decision. What do you say to those who say they took a chance and, well, you knew that this possibly would not work out over the long haul?
So I think it's really important, Giovanna, for people to understand why people come here to the United States. People don't just uproot themselves from the place that they call home for no reason at all. And for my family, in the Philippines, there are just so few opportunities for people to really make the most of their lives, and the education system isn't as good as it is here in the United States. And when my parents brought me here, it was because they wanted their children to have access to the best education possible, access to the best jobs possible. And that's why we came. And I think it's also important for people to understand how complicated our immigration system actually is. And when people tell me, why don't you just wait in line? The reality for so many people is that there is no line. And unless you meet certain criteria, you can't immigrate to the United States.
But for some people, they may say that, they say it's unfair, but the flip side is it's unfair for those people who are following the law, who, let's say, did get into line and did wait, did pay for an immigration attorney, did leave the country, and then came back and followed the rules. What do you tell them?
I mean, it's like I've said, it's difficult. My mother just became a permanent resident, and it took her 20 years to be able to do that. And at least for my part, and back in Mexico, there's so much violence that it's violence that everyone is wanting to escape. And even though there are some people who do have the opportunity to be able to advance in this process to become legal, that's not the case for everyone. And you know, there's mothers with children who just fear for their life and want to provide the best for them.
Some people may say, okay, there's definitely violence in Central America and parts of Mexico, etc., but there's violence in other cities here in the United States, and we're not doing the things that we could do for children who were born here. We're having a hard enough time taking care of the people who we do have. What do you tell them?
I think my message to those people would be just to give people a chance to help make this country a better place. Immigrants have so much to contribute to American society, and studies have shown that when the Daca program goes away, essentially on March 5th, 2017, over 1,400 dreamers, over 1,400 Daca recipients are going to drop out of the U.S. economy, losing their jobs because their work authorizations will expire every day. And the American economy will take a hit of about $400 billion, the GDP.
Okay. In our final seconds here, talk to me, Deanna, about what you would tell President Trump if you could sit right in front of him.
I would say to make the right choice. The choice with heart, the choice with compassion, and to be able to see us not for what so many people have played us out to be, but to see us for the students who have dreams and have dedicated their time and their life to this country.
Very briefly, what would you say, Raymond?
I would say just to look at me, look me straight in the eye and tell me, I don't want you to be here. And look at everything that I've been able to accomplish here in this country with the Daca program. And ask yourself, is this really what you want to do to so many hundreds of thousands of people across the country?
All right. Thank you so much for joining us. We are just getting started. Right after the break, we're going to talk to a prominent immigration attorney about the recommendation to end Daca. You're watching Public Affairs on Peach.